Hi, my name is Barb, and I'm a codependent. Hi, everybody. First off, I want to just tell you how grateful I am to be here. This is quite an honor for me to be able to be here with all of you and to be at my very first CODA convention. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to have, he's my roadie. He labeled himself that. Would you play the first song for me? Which is, I think, number 2.
Early so disappointed, but my mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional body. Cause I know what spirit guides me, and love lives inside me. That's why I take life as it comes.
Stop it. That's probably the shortest song in history. That's just to ground me. Okay, I'm Barb and I'm a codependent. One of my grateful codependent fellows asked me and encouraged me to do my tools workshop and at the convention a few years ago, and I wasn't able to get there. And this year it just so happened that we were able to come because recovery keeps blessing us. And so I volunteered to see if I could do it here instead. I've done this before. Each time for me has to be different because it's all about me. I want to learn something too. So if I do something more than once, I want to do it different. I want to do it to where it's going to take me deeper. So, first problem was, how am I going to get my toolbox on the airplane? We're from Illinois. And my toolbox is really the metal kind that the big guys have. And I thought, oh, I know. I'll buy one when I get here. So I did that, and I've decided after the workshop, I'm going to give it to the raffle table. Take my stuff out of it. You don't get my tools. But you get my toolbox if you win a raffle, because I'm not taking it back on the plane. I'm a visual learner. Visual helps me learn the best. I'm able to internalize it better. And I was telling my husband, how am I going to do a taped workshop when it's about visuals? So I'm going to have you guys help me. So when I show you a visual, you can repeat it back, and then the people that hear the CD will know what you saw. This toolbox contains the tools that I've used in my recovery to work on becoming precious and free. The meaning of in this moment, precious and free, may not be the same to you as it is to me. And furthermore, it may change on a regular basis, but what doesn't change is the moment. We're gifted with many moments as long as we live and breathe, and I'm grateful to the committee for allowing me the honor, the exercise to review, collect, and share what those tools have been and still are for me. I love this program because it completely changed my course in life and placed me on a path of no return. Well, maybe a visit now and then. I've decided not to provide you with a list of tools because this is an action program. Action tonight might be writing, or it might be listening, or later it might be sharing. So do whatever feels right for you in this moment. Can I see a show of hands of how many are new to CODA this year? Awesome.
I got copies.
Okay. So just need them separate. I'm not going to hand them out yet.
Okay, I'll send them for you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I decided to organize my tools in the order in which I added them to my recovery toolbox. So first off will be to tell you what I used in the beginning of my recovery, and then how my toolbox grew in phases of my journey. So first phase, this is where you guys get to interact. I needed this. And then I had to have this. Along with that came this. Home group. You got to stay long enough for others to get to know the real you. That's the benefit of a home group. You can meeting hop, but nobody will really get to know you. So I think home group is really important for me. Meetings. We had meeting lists. Well, I'm not finding them. But I have my original meeting list. That was a while ago. This tool is very important early on. And with some of my tools, I had to remind myself what the old tool was, because I didn't do this listening stuff. This is what I did. This was my old tool. Interrupting and giving advice. This is what I did. These are old tools, and they're written like that because they're icky. So if you have trouble reading them, it's because they're icky. So listening first. Then when I got to a point where I wasn't crying so much, I did some of this. Instead of the old tool, which was stuffing, which I spent a lifetime stuffing everything I thought, everything I felt, because, you don't want to rock the boat. Part of my story, and I tell my story with this box because it helps me to remember, but I came to Codependent-Anonymous because my marriage fell apart. Because I hit a codependent bottom that I didn't know how to recover from. I didn't know how to function. And I had been through a lot of stuff in my life, and I always just kind of picked myself up and moved on. And this time, it wasn't happening. I didn't understand why my husband left. I didn't understand why we were about to go bankrupt. I didn't understand why all my kids were using drugs and alcohol. I didn't understand why I had a brand new job and I couldn't think because of all this other stuff that was going on. But I was grateful. That boss told me after a couple of weeks, we hired you for 40 hours a week. And you're only coming every other day. I said, but you don't understand what's going on in my life right now. And they said, well, it doesn't matter. We can appreciate that, but you need to show up every single day. And I needed help in order to do that, because I wasn't able to do that on my own. So, one of the next tools early on that I really had to practice was this. And the old tool was, I didn't know anything about any detachment. But I went to meetings and they gave me this little book and I thought, well, what the heck is that? Oh, that's about detachment. And I still love this little book. It's from another fellowship, I'm sure. But I'm grateful that I really focused on detachment, because there was no time to work on me if I didn't know how to detach. CODA literature, my next tools in phase 1. Gotta have them. Affirmation booklets. I gave this to a sponsee because I ran out of newcomer booklets one time, and she spent months throwing this against the wall. And she was really mad at me about this. I didn't like them much either when I first started. I thought they were corny. They didn't work for me. Now it's all about affirmations to keep me centered. I still have my beginner newcomer handbook that's been through a lot. This thing is so full of information that never gets old. My CODA book as a codependent, I've given that one away a few times. And I'm still learning to not do that. There's a book called, there's a book out there that a lot of people read before they come to CODA. I'm sure you know what it is. I gave that one away multiple times. I didn't want to read that one. And then I went to a retreat, and the only thing left on the table was that book again. I took it home and gave that one away again because I could only absorb so much at one time. The phone list, my first CODA phone list. Do you remember these little things? Any of you old timers? Used to find these a lot at the meetings or nearby. Has the Serenity Prayer on the front. This stuff is important to me. This stuff, these numbers, these people saved my life. My Tuesday group, they weren't very structured. This was their phone list. Just this little handwritten thing, and till some really good codependents got in there and got the real good stuff, until we graduated to this, and now of course we have it online, and we have multiple ways of finding a CODA meeting. Literature. Anybody know what these are? I know it dates me a little bit. But these cassette tapes rode around in cars with me all the time. I didn't get sick quick. I got sick over a lifetime. And I needed repetition. And my husband would say, why don't you put some music on? And music isn't what I need right now. I need to remember. And so I would listen to them over and over. CDs, tapes. I still do. I'm an audio-visual learner. Don't give me the book. I'm probably going to give it away. Give me the CD that I can hear their voice, that I can connect with that. I connect with the voices. See why I need the table? Take everything out of my toolbox. Okay. Detachment. Some of the things I do to detach. Walk away. Monitor calls. That great caller ID thing. That's technology's way of detachment. I don't have to pick up. I don't. Stay busy on self. Don't get swept away with my feelings. Pause. Let go. Choose what's right for me. Those are some of my detachment tools. Slogans. Oops, I said it before you guys did. One of my favorites is nothing changes if nothing changes. That kept me going. It was simple. I didn't have to work hard to remember it. What are some of you guys' slogans? No is a complete sentence. Yeah, I had a friend that used to say, what part of no don't you understand, the N or the O? Yeah, I don't know if I'm there yet, but no is a complete sentence in my book. Woo! Yeah, whose stuff is it? Okay. In the first phase still. And my old tool was, boy, a lot of awareness in the first phase. Then we get to the second phase, something I knew nothing about. Because what I spent most of my life doing was the old tool, which was, I didn't take care of me, and I was tired, and I was hurt, and I was lonely, and I was angry. It's your fault. That's who I was. That's what I did. I'm a recovering cupboard slammer. That's how I got my words across, but there weren't any words to go with it. Self-care came in the form of self-care cards, which somebody stole. I thought I'd share them with work in the lobby. They disappeared. Somebody needed them more than I needed them. So they haven't been replaced. Bubble baths. Oh, yeah. Candles. This is about self-care for women. And the reason I say that is because when I got into recovery, I used to tell the women in my home group, if you don't see me with nail polish on, you need to confront me, because I couldn't even find a half hour that week to do my nails. It was discipline. Because Lord knows I didn't have time to do this. Because of blankety blank blank. Fill in the blanks. So this became a recovery tool. Doctors under self-care. What? Go to doctors? That was a big deal when I went to a doctor for a wellness visit. It is. See, some people understand this. Putting me first for my meeting times. That was my first boundary. I'm going to a meeting. It's Tuesday. It's 6:30. I don't do dinner. I don't do dinner on Saturdays. Not when my meetings are, and I don't babysit, and I don't do any of those other, I don't work late, I don't do those other things because my meeting had to be the most important thing to me in order for me to get to me being the most important thing for me. Getting enough sleep, exercising, still working on these self-care things. Drinking water. Do you know what's wrong with drinking water? Because then you got to take the time to go eliminate it. That's what's wrong with it, so I never did it. I didn't have time for that. It's the truth. It's the truth. So if you don't see me painting my nails and drinking my water, I might be in trouble. Eating healthier. Still in the second phase of self-care. Under that came. And the old tool. And the thing to kill isolation would be this telephone right here. And it used to be referred to as the 1,000-pound telephone. When you need help, you don't want to pick it up to call somebody. That's when all these phone lists became important. And I had a friend say, I call somebody 3 times a day. Even when there's nothing wrong, just so they don't freak out when I do have something wrong. Seriously. She did that, and I so respected her for that. Because I still have trouble asking for help. So start building a support circle by actually picking up the phone. I am responsible for self. And then writing. Jotting things down that stand out. Oh my God. Little pieces of paper everywhere. Everywhere. That where I heard something that struck a chord. This one was in my wallet for a long time. Patience, even if we don't have any. Tolerance, even if we don't like it. Selflessness, at those very moments our own ego is crying for attention. Reflections before admonishing. I needed that one. Is now a good time to speak? Am I telling the whole truth? Is my voice gentle, not harsh? Am I motivated by kindness? And am I motivated by a desire to be helpful? The potential of adult human mind is to recognize anger, locate the fear that gives rise to it, and respond wisely, remedying the situation without complicating it. Anger does not need to be a problem. This is old. This piece of paper was very important to me. All of these things. This used to be on my office wall, and I still repeat this to sponsees all the time. A woman has the courage to make her own choices. This is an Indian prayer. When you are in doubt, be still and wait. When doubt no longer exists for you, then you go forward with courage. So long as the mists envelop you, be still. Be still until the sunlight pours through and dispels the mists, as it surely will. Then act with courage. So all the time, I was in doubt. In early recovery, doubt of to do this, do that, don't do this, don't say that. I was in doubt a lot. So this had to go on my office wall. My feelings frequent my being always. They steer my behavior. They reflect my attitude, and they hint at my closeness to God. These are things people were saying in meetings. There's only really two ways to approach life, as a victim or a gallant fighter. And you must decide if you want to act or react, deal your own cards, or play with a stacked deck. I needed to have all these things. They're in my books. They're every time I open something, I have to see it to be reminded. Letters to self. Has anybody heard of letters to self? We do these at our retreats. And it became a mile marker for me to write a letter to myself. And this was one of them that I did. And it just says, Barbie, how is God's grace showing up in your life today? How's your humility? Ask these questions and it will reveal what your reality really is. I went to a retreat where there was women and they were talking about this thing called grace, and I said, what is that? I didn't know what grace was, and they laughed. It wasn't funny to me. Now I had to really study to try to find out all this that I didn't know about grace. A woman slamming covered doors doesn't know much about grace. So, second phase, I'm still learning. The old tool. See, I can't blame when I'm doing I statements. It's not possible. And this took a lot of practice. Lots of practice. I feel, I will, I need, I think. Because I spent an entire lifetime doing you this, you that. You. New tool. Old tool. Letting go of control. keeping unasked for opinions to myself. Ooh. I still have trouble with that one. And this is something, that's about the fog. Instead of pause still saves my behind a lot. A lot. In the beginning, when I was hurting so bad in my codependent bottom, there was this song that used to play on the radio. How can I breathe without you? And that song would come on and I would just sob in the car because I didn't know how to breathe without him. And that particular song was sung by a country gal, if I'm not mistaken. I could be. Was it? Well, this is a country song. If you play the next song for me, that I chose to focus on more. And maybe if this comes over, we can. Thank you. There's more to that, but my point is, when those songs came on in the radio, I had to have something else to listen to, because those were too big of triggers for me. And I'm not a Christian. I had no religion. I had no higher power, but I had to be fed something else in order for me to stay away from control and reacting. Then came the third phase that I call it. What am I going to do if I'm not controlling everybody's life? I had a lot of time on my hands. And the reason that song's important to me is because if I was going to let go of the things I couldn't change, and I had all this time on my hands, what was I going to do? I was going to work on changing the things that I could. And that's a lot of energy to refocus just this direction. A lot. And a lot of time, and a lot of minutes, and a lot of hours. So, this became part of my new tool. Now I'm talking swimming pool, hot tub, and showers. Because I could relax there. You see, you can't get in a hot tub and stay tense. It just, like within 30 seconds, it's all gone. And so we got to a point where I was like, I need a new car, but I really need this worse. So we'll get the hot tub now, and we'll get the car when the other one just won't go down the road anymore. And we still have the hot tub. Those cars come and go. But I still need a pool. I need my hot tub. I need showers. I need those things. I'm a visual learner, and my senses, all those things help me. I can't just read a book. I can't just go to meetings. I need lots of help. So water became one of the key things for me. This became another tool. Nature. And by nature, I mean I could just walk out my front door maybe and look up and close my eyes and let the sun beat on me for maybe 20 seconds. That's a long pause for me. That's a way for me to get filled up before my day begins. And I could just kind of relax. It was similar to the warmth of a hot tub, but it was sun, it was nature, I'm very much a water baby. I'm not sure about Arizona. I keep looking for water. We found a little. So that's good. And then I had to, that was my easing into this higher power thing. Because people told me at the meetings that I didn't have to worry about that whole God thing. Just keep coming back. I am so grateful for those people that said that, because God was in all the steps and the prayers and the, oh my God, and they said, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. So I didn't. I just keep coming back. And then I tried to find a sponsor and was turned down a few times, but there was no going back. There was no going back from where I came. So I needed to try different things, and originally I thought, well, maybe I could get with angels. You know, they're cute. They're not scary. Maybe they're flying around somewhere. Kind of like the butterflies. Butterflies, angels, I could do that. Then I told everybody that I liked angels, and my house got flooded with angels. It is still full of angels. But my first sponsor helped me along with the Native American path. And all of a sudden, things started happening with red-tailed hawks in me. And I can't explain how many times, because it's too numerous to mention. But the red-tailed hawk became a messenger for me. And my home group had people in it that handed me this handout about the hawk being a messenger. These hawks would swoop down in front of my car to where I'd almost hit them. They'd be in the middle of the city where they shouldn't be, sitting on a corner looking at me. It just was, and then I worked on the 7th floor of a building, and people that knew me and saw these things that I showed you on my wall, and they'd say, Barb, your hawk's on the ledge again. Because they started connecting that with me. And those things really helped me to believe in a power greater than myself. Because I could actually see them. So I got my little wooden hawks. I started wearing my hawk necklaces. It was all about the hawks. And then my sponsor gave me one of these things. These are rosary beads. And I just kind of looked at her, and she goes, well, whatever helps. I said, okay. I hung it on my bed just in case it might help down the road. She gave me a little red heart that I could carry. This was my heart, not somebody else's. This was mine. And I had to protect it and take good care of it. I was given a God box. It wasn't a very pretty God box. I mean, this was just a little box, and I thought, well, my problems are bigger than this little box. So I got this great big huge tin, and I duct taped it shut, because I know me. I'm going in there. So I made sure I couldn't get in there. You know what's wrong with that? If I can't get in there, I wasn't putting nothing in there. So not much went in the God box. But that's okay, because I'm still working on this. Is the hardest piece for me. This higher power thing is the hardest piece for me. Might not be for it. I didn't have any upbringing that I could fall back on. It was creating from nothing. So when I would see hawks, I got to use boundaries. People would go, oh, there's a hawk. I'm like, that's not my hawk. Well, how do you know? Because it didn't fly in front of me and I didn't see it. It must be your hawk, because it's not my hawk. Didn't I? Because my husband wanted to help me out and find those hawks, And that was a new boundary for me. And then one day, there was like 6 of them. I'm like, what kind of message is this? I was, for like a week, until I went back to my home group and told this guy, I said, there was like 6 of them. He goes, no, Barb, those were turkey vultures. Oh. thought they were hawks. But you know, I'm learning, and I got to pay attention to the messages, and they're still coming. But that helped me with awareness. It helped me. You know, the hawk wasn't my higher power. The hawk was my reminder. And it had to come right in front of me. I had to have the visual. It had to be without a doubt. In a strange place at a strange time. And that's how that works for me. Then I started to believe little by little. So, if I'm going to believe and there's a higher power, then I need this tool. And this tool. Do something different. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't. Don't worry about doing the wrong thing. Anything different is better than where I came from. Just change the pattern. Drink some water. Just do something different, and you can continue to be positive because you know you're doing these little bitty things that add up to a lot. Choices. This is freedom here. This is freedom. Boundaries. Oh yeah. That's another visual. Except that some days you're the pigeon and some days you're the statue. That's acceptance. That taught me about acceptance. It's not always going to be my way. So boundaries. Whoops. This is the first CODA Boundaries pamphlet. And they can't have it back. I'm going to keep it forever. Because this is what taught me boundaries. They have this awesome new one, and I love it too. But I'll make 1,000 copies of this because it's not printed anymore. Because I still need it. I still need to divide it and sort it by mental and physical and spiritual, and every boundary violation is spiritual. I need to know that. I need to be reminded that all boundary violations are spiritual in nature. And that's how much they affect me. Yeah, this one I've struggled with. It took me 3 times to get this tool. CODA is a small fellowship in our area. I don't know if it's small all over the world. Is it small in other places? Yes. That makes that tool very difficult. But don't let it stop you. You can do co-sponsorship with another newcomer. You can create a group. My very first CODA sponsorship was in a group because we were all new. We were all together. And they didn't even hardly have the step workbook done back then. But we had the first 3 steps, and we were going to work them together as a group. And when I got to the 5th step, the 4th and the 5th step with this group, that's when this song became important to me. And that's number 5, honey. What was the other song? What I want to change. It was by Leon Rimes. This was part of my 5th step. You get to do your 5th step how you want. And I wanted music at my 5th step.
Step by step, bit by bit, stone by stone, yeah.
And if you want to sing, you can. Because we're going to have you singing later.
Day by day,
It's fucking ruin along the way.
so many burdens, like not from me, so many troubles that I have to face. Oh,
It's my family.
I'm a miracle. I'm trying to get to my destination. I'm gonna take you home because I'm thinking step by step. You know I'm taking it. Bit by bit, bit by bit. Stone by stone, yeah. Brick by brick, like bit by bit by
That's good.
step by step, step by step.
And that is this tool. You get no growth without the steps. Find somebody to do them with. What did I just do with that? I hid it from myself. Aha. This. I had to widen my circle. This is part of my third phase, widening my circle. If your groups are small and CODA isn't huge around you, there's other fellowships. There's retreats, there's conferences, there's conventions, there's speaker meetings, there's speaker CDs, because I want to listen to them. So I had to do that. I started going to women's retreats. Only 12-step women were there, but they had stuff to teach me. They weren't coming to my meetings, but they had things I needed to learn from them. So widening my circle was important. How was I going to get a sponsor? I was going to go to Milwaukee. I was going to go to Chicago. I was going to start going to conferences. And that's what I did. I traveled. Road trip. That's what we would holler, and that's what we did, because you got to stay invested in your own recovery. And if it ain't coming to you, you got to go to it. See my little stepsisters? This is from an annual CODA retreat that we went to. Even this little guy, I think he was part of the CODA logo or something at one point, but that was from a CODA workshop. Workshops are like booster shots. Conferences, conventions, that's where you get fueled up again. Steps. My prayer cards. I didn't know how to pray, but I knew that CODA had prayers, so I made myself all these little prayer cards, and I put magnets on the back of them, and I carried them in my wallet, and whatever you got to do to learn something you never learned before is what you got to do. And everybody say, "Where'd you get those prayer cards?" I made them. You just print them on a business card. Take them with you. Which prayer do you need today? Just keep it in your wallet. Type it on your phone. I mean, I know. We're in the technology age today. Gratitude. This was in my office. Gratitude in a jar is what this is, because I didn't know what gratitude was. So I got gratitude in a jar, so that when I didn't have any, I could open this jar and get me some. It works, It works. sharps. And the thing is, and those are for whoever wants them, the people I worked with, sometimes they'd be having a rough day and they'd go, Barb, can I have some of that gratitude you got in that jar? Help yourself. Well, pretty soon they had them taped to their monitors, you know, their little computers. They didn't give them back. No, they needed it. Which is why this is pretty empty now. But again, it's about the visual learning and reinforcement of what I need to do every day. Dictionary. You know, every codependent wants a dictionary. Because when I do the steps, I need to know exactly what those words mean. What am I really doing when I let go? What does powerless really mean? Because I don't want to stay powerless. I felt that way all my life. That's why I stuffed it. So it was important for me to know the real definitions and stop thinking I knew everything and act like I knew nothing. I don't even know what these words mean. And I get to pick which word in the step is going to jump out at me and help me focus on that step a little bit more. Fourth phase of my recovery. This is a tool. This is a tool. Oh man, this is hard. This is hard to slow down. We had to come all the way to Arizona to slow down. And we're kind of liking it. All the rest of the world not bothering us. Put white space on your calendar. Label it time for self. Hold a boundary around it. Change your mind. Did you know it's your right to change your mind? And that can be a boundary. Take a nap. I don't do that. You can do that. But I'm not a napper. I'll go get in the pool or something. But go to the park or outside. That's how you slow it down. Nature's not hurrying. Computers, CODA.org. This is a tool. I went out there a couple weeks ago, and there's always new tools they're putting up there. Or else Barb's been too busy to look. I'm not sure which. This is a big tool I just talked about, my little jar. And this is the old tool. When I don't have the gratitude, I'm on my pity pot again. So, yeah, I don't need to go there. And this is a tool that was just at the last conference or last workshop. Forgiveness. Because the old tool is when I work on gratitude, now that I know what gratitude is and I don't need my jar anymore, I have gratitude journals. I have quite a few of them. I don't do it perfectly. I don't do it every day. I actually do it with my husband, and when I don't have any, I can read his. It's a nice payoff because it helps shift my thinking. He's a little more disciplined than I am. Forgiveness, spot it, you got it. See it, you be it, so forgive it, save yourself. I get to work on principles when I'm working on forgiveness. Service work, that's attend a meeting, do a service position, read a reading, listen to someone, that's service work. You see the caller ID and you don't want to pick it up anyway. You might be doing some service work. Get on a retreat committee. Music is very much in this workshop for me today because music has become a huge part of my tools. And I didn't want it to be left out. And we were like, oh my God, we don't have Wi-Fi. How am I going to do this? So we went and bought a CD player. So I'm grateful because I wanted music with me today. That's for me. That's part of who I am. I'm very music oriented. It comes from my childhood. It is a gift I got from my childhood. I might not have got a sense of a higher power, but I did get the love and the joy of music, and that stirs my soul. It helps me grieve. It helps me feel joy. It helps me do a lot of things. I had a girlfriend. This is one of my old toolboxes. A girlfriend gave me this giving tree book, and she thought it was a nice thing to do to tell me I was a giving tree. There was nothing left of the tree when you're done with this book. The tree was gone. It was a stump. And this was her loving gesture, and I was like, oh my goodness, I need to keep working on my new tools or I'm going to be a stump. Yeah, and I had to buy books. This book I bought because I told you I didn't know nothing about grace. This book had grace in the title, so I had to get that book because I needed to learn. And I was very tickled to hear, this is about widening my circle with literature, with fellowships. This was talked about in the last workshop. 7 deadly needs. I got them all. I got them all. They visit regularly. But recently we framed them and put them in a strategic spot in the bathroom. So you can't help but read them. And that's helpful, because I told you I'm a visual learner. Get reminded. My sponsor had stuff all over her bathroom walls. So they teach you what to do it. I did what she did. A little differently, but I still did it. I pay attention. She had something I wanted. Okay, this one. This is a tool. And this is the other side of the tool. Prayer. I don't do so good. Because that goes back to that religious thing. I hope it's in here. Yeah. This reading helped me to stop beating myself up because I didn't pray like the world said I should pray. It's called Everyday Life is the Prayer. Some women know they pray, other women think they don't because they aren't down on their knees morning and night. But they're up in the dark with sick children, visiting an elderly parent on their lunch hour, supporting the dreams of those they love with their work, helping a friend bear grief or rejoice, nourishing bodies and souls. This too is prayer. For whether we realize it or not, with every breath, with every heartbeat, we pray. We pray with desire, longing, hunger, thirst, sighs, remorse, regret. We pray with disappointment, discouragement, despair, disbelief. We pray with anger and rage and jealousy and envy. It goes on and on about everything that is called prayer. I needed this. I needed to know that I didn't have to do it the right way. I was good enough if I was living in a manner of speaking that was like a prayer. So that's good enough for me today. Because it's not good for women to be silent, for people to be silent. We need to get real life off our chests. I do that at meetings. Get whatever's bedeviling us out into the open so we can get on with it. We can't do that when we're stuck, and we get stuck. So this is very important to me. I love this tool. Teaches me how to have relationships with other people. The steps got a relationship with myself. This gets me relationships with all of you. Because our common welfare comes first. That's ever in my mind. That's what I came to CODA for, healthy relationships. First with me, then with others. I'm not going to get to all my tools. Recite them. I was asked to do something on promises at a conference. They said, pick a promise and write a little something about it. So I had trouble figuring out which one I wanted to write on. And in the process, I found out they had all come true. But I wouldn't have known that if I wasn't asked to do that. So they're a tool. Write on them. You'll find out where you're at and where you're not at, and that's okay. But it's kind of like a guidepost. This is a tool. This is the old tool. When I was working at this particular place where I worked, gossip was a big thing. And here I am trying to be all serene with my gratitude jar, my little angels, and all this stuff. And they'd come over and they'd want to gossip. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. So I printed out this little saying about gossip, how it hurts everybody. It's this long little thing. And I posted on the outside of my cubicle. Like, stop. That was my boundary. Not doing gossip in here. Don't come in here with it. So there's all kinds of ways to stop gossip. Am I human? Do I still do it? Yes. And then it starts feeling icky and I'm like, oh, what am I doing? Stop this. This isn't good for me. And then this is where I'm going to hand out. Oh, I can't forget this. This is a tool. This is a tool. A picture of my husband when he was a little bitty boy. I can't be pissed at a little bitty boy. And an old timer used to tell me, that they had a picture of their loved one when they were little. And they would focus on that when they were angry, because you just can't be angry at the little child that lives inside somebody. And that's how I reminded myself to do that. There's two more things that I want to do, and one was very instrumental in helping me understand there was a power greater than me. And I thought it would be fun to have a few people do it, so I need 3 volunteers. You, and you, and you in the back, to do this with me. Yes, please. Well, maybe I'm only going to do it 2 of us. I thought we'd have 4 of us, but one broke. You guys can share. And take turns. Okay, so what I want you to do, this was done at a retreat, and you may have seen it before. I want you to know that this was instrumental in me believing there was an energy other than my own. Because if you just hold it, and you notice their hands aren't moving, their fingers aren't moving, but eventually it will start to move when it gets done spinning.
What's at the bottom of it?
Just a bead. My other one got tangled up, and the other one broke. Hold it in front of your body. This one just keeps wanting to spin, doesn't it? I'm going to stop the spinning just for a moment. Okay. You're doing it right. Let me hold it for a minute. Everybody's different. I had my son do this at home, and I had my husband do it. And I can't explain why it's different with different energy. But mine's pretty strong. I don't know why it does this, but it does this. And it did it to me on the first retreat. And I thought, I'm not doing that. How can that be? I'm in control of things, aren't I? Evidently I'm not. At least not everything. And there's an energy outside of me that I can't explain. And this helped me believe in a power greater than myself because I wasn't doing it. So whatever the physics are doesn't matter to me. I'm sure there's physics behind it, and sometimes they don't move, and sometimes they swing this way, and sometimes they go in a circle. But my point is, it helped me begin to believe because I'm a visual learner. That's why I didn't believe in a power greater than me, because I couldn't see it. That helped me see energy. Yeah, yours is starting to move now.
It's going in little mini circles.
Mm-hmm. So yet again, another tool. Thank you. So, a lot of things along my recovery path that helped me to start believing something different than what I'd always believed, which didn't work in my life. Okay, y'all wanted a handout. I'm gonna hand out. I did a workshop just on feelings one time, so I'm gonna have you guys pass this around, or you can. I got an awesome roadie. And you can take this home and create your own feelings toolbox. And then the other thing we're going to do to end this is at the retreat, my husband did this past year, did this drumming exercise where you drum and you keep your own beat even though everybody else has got a different beat. And that's very hard for a codependent to do. So I kind of wanted to do something similar, but it's not about a beat. We're going to have two different parts of a song going on at the same time. Different words. If you don't want to sing, you don't have to. But I'm going to pass those out, and then we're going to try it out, okay? Kind of like that, but not like that. So this side is going to be the main chorus, and this side is going to be the background. So you just flip the page over. And while those are being passed out, I'm going to play the song just so you get a feel for it, and then we'll have you do your parts. And see if you can stay in your own lane, like a good recovering codependent.
Play that?
Yep.
Okay.
This is this tool. Living in the moment. Bring it here. Bring me the CD player. Oh, that's lots better. peace in my mind, peace in my heart, peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. I can't walk through life wishing backwards. I have tried. Here comes your practice session. Okay, that was practice. Play it again. Now this time you got to be louder when your part comes up. Just couldn't hear you good enough. You got to sing it like you live in it. Yeah, main chorus singers over here. Background singers over here.
Tell us when we come in.
I'll tell you when you come in. They're running. You're going to help this side. Yeah. If you want to be a good roadie. Yeah, your background. Okay, fine. I'll be background, you be main. How are you going to hold that and do that? I'll do this. Living my life, easy and breezy. Peace in my mind. Not yet. Peace in my soul. Wherever I'm going, I'm already home. Not yet. Not yet. Not on there. Future I've been searching for. Turn around and search no more. moment. It's Jason Mraz. Thank you, everybody.